Hello everyone, this is Shokora Zouheikyoku aka Chocomint, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Celestia. In the last playthrough, there has been a bit of breakthrough with Sekheo, just a little, along with another kiss. So it's hopeful that we will have a breakthrough with Sekheo tonight, and hopefully we will get all happy ending. Let's continue. I have no control over my ugliest side. I have no choice but to give in to his wishes. I have no control over my ugliest side. I have no control over a side of me I truly dislike. Am I a forceful person by nature? What about Sekheo brings out the stubbornness, this naivety? This is too painful for the both of us. Maybe this isn't right. Maybe Sekheo is right. Maybe pursuing this so short-sighted will only hurt both of us. I run a hand down my face. I've been a fool, haven't I? Maybe I should let him go. It seems I know what I need to do now. I should talk to Solus. He did, after all, offer his hand. But first, I want to rest, and maybe read a bit if my heartache doesn't go away, just as a distraction. I brought all these books over from the library. It would be a waste not to read them. Coming back feels like more of an ordeal than I expected it to be. Well, it's mostly because I took the long way back from Sekheo's garden to the castle. I was afraid someone would see me cry, but my fears were for nothing. I didn't shed a single tear. Let's just sleep before I do end up crying. But sleep does not come for me. Instead, I pick up one of the books I didn't get to read earlier, and I read until my body forces me to rest. One thing comes to mind, and it's that in order to do what I'm about to do, I need to make sure I've officially run out of options. When I awaken, it's still dark out, and I have no idea what time it actually is. The saying it's morning summons something for me. It tells me I am running out of time. I should go now. I should leave this room and do what I need to do. I do not. In fact, I decide to put it off even longer than I was planning on. Maybe it's the sentimentality of me, surrounded by books, being inevitably reminded of Sekheo. Maybe it's my way of saying goodbye to him without actually having to face him. Maybe it's me, grabbing onto my last strands of hope before finally letting go. It doesn't matter. If I want to read just to read, then that's what I'll do. I gather all my history and mythology books together, pick one up random, and get started. The final book I touch is a mythology book. I'm dead tired, but determined to finish. If this book has something I'm looking for, it'll all be worth it. The title shocks me. Impossible. I try to calm my bounding heart. It doesn't mean anything, not in the grand scheme of things. Still, it matters to me. The story of two Celestials sharing a life and a moon is a beautiful and impossible thing. It reads like poetry, which is likely why Sekheo likes it so much. This really is the end, isn't it? There's nothing else for me to do. All that's left is to return the books, talk to Solus, and the knock on the door interrupts my thought process. I wish it were, but that doesn't matter. In fact, I have a feeling I know exactly who it is. I don't feel like chatting, Val. Dove, I brought you a snack. I'll bet you haven't eaten. My stomach grows. I get up from bed, open the door, and extend my hand for the snack. Stop reading my mind. Nope, not anytime soon. Sighing, I usher Val inside. I saw Prince Bloom earlier today looking more forlorn than usual, so I put two and two together. Why do? Val shuts the door behind him and walks into my room like he's been here for 1,000 times before. How are you so sure I didn't screw everything up? I just you, that's all. Don't need to know anything other than that. So I shouldn't tell you. I never said that, and I definitely didn't raise you to be such a cynic. You didn't raise me at all. Well, that's beside the point. Really, Val? Alright, mock argument aside, I have a question for you. What is it? Are you alright? I don't know. Is that a bad answer? Val sounds before shaking his head. It's as good an answer as any, considering the cards you've been dealt. You mean the ones I dealt myself? It's more of a half and half sort of thing. But now that you know the outcome of the story, are you going to keep going until the end? It's the question I've been waiting for, though I didn't expect Val to be the one to ask us first. I shake my head and wonder if my smile is truthful or not. No, I don't think I will. There's no judgment in Val's eyes, and none in the friendly hand on my shoulder. You're tired, aren't you? He has it so much worse. That doesn't mean you can't be upset that he's pushing you away. You aren't going to say you told me so? When you're like this, never. Like this. I'm confused for a moment before I register the warmth dripping steadily down my face. Finally, the tears have come. I fell. I have my face in my hands. I take out a handkerchief. I can't let myself fall apart. I take a long deep breath, looking up at the ceiling as I blink the tears away. I wipe up the ones that have made it to my cheeks. I breathe in again and hold it until I've ran in my trembling. I fold the wet handkerchief into a perfect square. It has my initials embroidered on it. I trace them with my fingertip. All the while, Belle's watching me quietly, his eyes sad and full of sympathy. When the water will subside, I take deep calming breaths. When I'm calm, I look at Belle. Why are you always nice when it counts? It's always better that way. Why were you right about this? Because I'm always right. Next question. I don't have more questions. Leave my quarters, Valentister, before I kick you out myself. With those fine bits of string you call arms. I grin as broadly as I can manage. Not with my feet. Ouch. That's cute. Actually, I need to talk to Solus about things of importance, so I'll be gone anyway. Belle stares at me flatly for a moment. Then he connects the dots. I know the moment he does because he lets out a massive groan. Oh, you got to be kidding me, Dove. I shrug. I know you don't like him, but understatement of the century. But I'd like to consider my options. If it doesn't work out, you can always say you were right all along. You take the fun of being right every day. It's my absolute pleasure. Most of the time, that is. If this happens, Vale groans, likely just from thinking about Solus in any capacity. I know you'll come through. Of course I will, Dove. Now I'll let you make your choice. You know where to find me if things go south. Do I? Belle shrugs and places a placating hand on my shoulder in response to my frustration. I'll find you, don't worry. Figuring out when you're in trouble is like a sixth sense to me at this point. Sure is. Now let me make myself presentable and I'll see you around. Yeah, see you. He leaves without another word, something I'm grateful for. If we stay and talk longer, I might cry even more. When I'm sure Val is gone, I prepare myself to go see Solus. This isn't exactly a social call, but I should look nice regardless. It's a big day after all. Come in. I enter Solus' office. The door is cracked open, and Solus looks half asleep at his desk. It's a strange bit of vulnerability for me to see, and it makes me feel worse about what I'm about to request of him. Hello? I call out in false ignorance, as if I don't know he's there already. Solus bursts up and gives me his best attempt at a bright, attentive smile. It doesn't reach his eyes. Keeper Luna, what a pleasure to see you. I was just working, but don't mind me. Come in, sit. I never expected to associate cracking and Solus in the same sentence, but that's the best word I can use to describe the exhaustion I hear in his voice. Something must have happened. I should be decent and ask him what it is. How are things going then? Sitting down across from Solus, I can't help but notice little details that make him suitable for planning events like these. He has small notes everywhere, from sitting chairs to the slack meals. Solus sounds in an exhausted sort of relief, and I don't know what to do about that. Moving along, I am happy to say we have quite a few barons of moon and suns. A few galaxies will be getting brighter this season, so I am so ecstatic about that. He hesitates. How are things with you and the prince? Things are certainly happening. Solus nods in understanding. His Highness came by and we talked for a bit. He spoke of you, so I suppose that is why he is on my mind. Normally, such news would excite me, but I have already made my decision. I actually came here to tell you something about him. Did you come to any new developments? He seems genuinely excited. I hate to let him down like this, but I have to. I look away, crossing my legs. No, I think I'm going to give up. I can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. My voice doesn't sound nearly as detached as I wanted to. This does not go unnoticed by Solus. His expression falling. I tried to smile in response. I understand why you feel this way. After time and time away, again to get him to see what he refuses to see. I cannot expect you to do what I could not simply because he... Solus cut short abruptly. No, sorry. That is not my place to say. I'm curious, but not curious enough to press him. I can't let the conversation get derailed like this. It's time to be brave and set out for a more certain future. I'd like to choose you. What do you mean? For the bonus ceremony, I'd like to choose you. I know this is sudden, but I've thought this through. I need to think beyond myself and about the planet I have chosen to protect. But this isn't right. Solus shakes his head. I cannot let you go through with this. But you offered earlier. Does that offer no longer stand? Not when I know I'll be betraying a friend. Betraying? I wouldn't call it that. Sekheo told me himself that we would be a good match. Aren't we just fulfilling his wishes? That's one way of putting it. His laugh is bitter, and it takes everything in me not to flinch. Would you say the same thing if you knew the truth? What truth? That he doesn't want me to be his one last regret? Because I've heard that one before, and I'd rather not have to hear it again. Solus looks at me, exasperated and upset at the same time. That fool. My eyes narrow. Solus looks away. How embarrassing for me to have to discard my honor for a love for spot. I should not say, but I will discard my honor to be truthful. Sekheo loves you, Your Grace. That's precisely why he doesn't want you to join him on a path that can only lead to destruction. For me or him, because... No. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that I need to think about the greater good. It isn't worth your happiness. I smile. I want it to be. Isn't that enough? Solid silence before getting up and beginning to pace. Sekheo loves you. So you say. You likely feel the same way. I do. And if he came right now and said he would join your sky? That wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen. You are likely correct. But is this what the both of you want? Change is what I want. What I want doesn't matter anymore. What I want doesn't matter anymore. I need to be practical. I hope you realize how you sound. Pathetic? I was going to say forlorn. You're too kind. Perhaps. He seems lost in thought for a moment. I suppose I'll have time to understand the nature of his expressions as time passes. It does not matter now. I just hope we can work together now. There is a clear line being drawn. The fact that we weren't there yet, and that we might never get there, rings through my mind. Maybe that we'll grow into something, or we'll simply be business partners. Either way, it's one step further from a path that will not do me any good to stay on. Thank you for considering me. Well, by technicality, I offer first. Consider your proposal accepted. We both have something the other ones, and perhaps something more will grow out of it. After all, we both deserve something fruitful, don't you think? I look forward to getting to know you better. I appreciate your great generosity. This will be a beneficial arrangement. I believe we will work together very well. We'll provide a safe and beautiful home for the people under our care. My own conflicted feelings aside, that is the ultimate goal of my existence, is it not? I want to do right by my people. Solid nods, and I know he shares my determination. I agree. Now, allow me to take care of the details of the bonding ceremony. Please allow me to do the heavy lifting. Are you sure? You look... Exhausted is the word that comes to mind, but Solid answers before my question is even finished. Very sure. I happen to have a love for planning large events, and this is a perfect vehicle to test my skills. Will you allow me to do this, Zouheikyoku? Only if you call me by my first name. Ilona. He looks flustered at that. Maybe one day, I'll find that less interesting and more charming. Thank you, Celeste. My cheer is less false than it was before, and that's when I know. This is the choice I need to make. I'll be alright. I have to be. Of course. Now, would you like me to escort you to your room? You look as though you need company. I shake my hand. I need some time alone to think, but thank you. I'll see you soon, Celeste. See you soon, Ilona. As I get up, I take one more glance at Solus. He gives me a reassuring smile, and I smile back. This will be okay. This is... okay. That is the best word I can come up with as I sigh into the cold air. And that is alright too. I can't afford to be pulled along by these selfish emotions I feel, and I cannot drag Sekheo down with me as if we're in this together. We're not. He is dying. I am a brand new Celestial. We should have remained years apart in the first place, just as we were meant to be. But of course, when I see him, I waver. I suppose it's natural. I suppose it shows I still have a heart. That doesn't make it any less frustrating. I keep her Ilona. Your Highness, I did as you suggested. And what was that? I smile as cautiously as possible. I'm going to bond with Lord Solus. You said we would make a good pair, and so I am following through. I'm not sure why I'm telling him when I already know how he feels about me. Sekheo has made his choice, and I have made mine. Are you going to let me go? You can move past me. That's not what I meant. I have no right to interfere. It is your choice, after all. Aren't you going to say what you really feel? Sekheo looks at me, his eyes dark and mysterious. This is different from our first meeting, different from my first impression. I feel completely still on the inside, with only anxiety that he will leave without resolving this pouting in my chest. It's like unfair of me to want things to be wrapped up so neatly, for him to walk away, or call for my attention, or do anything that makes me feel at peace. But I am selfish and loving at my core, so I continue to want in the rawest way as I possibly can. With everything I have, that's all I can do. Sekheo, answer me. I know he won't answer, but I am still disappointed regardless. As he wordlessly turns and walks away, all I can do is stand there, staring after him. What can I possibly do if someone doesn't want me? It doesn't matter what Soul says. If Sekheo can't show up right now, then whatever feelings he might have simply aren't enough. I'm tired. When I wake up the next morning, I realize there's one thing I can do. There are only a handful of days until the bonding ceremony with Solace, and I want to do my best to prepare. Let's do this. My bed brings a little bit false, but if I have to smile to keep from crying, then so be it. I need to head into town. I say that, but I take my time getting dressed anyway. I take my time as I gather all of the books I borrowed from the local library. It wasn't long since I came into this room, but doing so feels strangely nostalgic. I guess I couldn't save him after all. Walking into the library is more of an ordeal than I thought it would be. By the time I'm there, 2 townspeople are carrying half my books as they talk to me. I am too overwhelmed by the congratulations about me and Solace, the chatter, the relief that I am far away from Sekheo. I'm glad they're happy and feel comfortable with me. I honestly want to be alone. Thankfully, after putting the books on the library counter, they bid me farewell. I know I engaged in their conversations, but I don't remember a thing they said. Turning to face the librarian, I give him a tired smile and hope that's good enough. Hello again.
The keeper, are you here to return the books? I expected you a bit later, considering
how many books I checked out from you? Or considering my upcoming ceremony?
Both?
You weren't rude, don't worry. Just a little lost in thought.
From the bonding ceremony?
Oh, Solace wants to take care of it.
How benevolent of him.
Yes, it is. And this is the end of my reading journey, at least for the next 100 years.
Thank you for coming to this town and this humble library. We appreciate the work you've done.
Of course. I'm more than happy to be here, and I hope to meet more people like you in the future.
It is an honor, Zouheikyoku.
I smile. In this genuineness time, the townspeople have become precious to me, and when I bind with Solace, they'll be eternally faithful. Ignoring the bit in my stomach, I turn and walk away after I've returned my books. Surveying the area Solace picked for our bonding ceremony brings a sense of finality to everything. I haven't seen Sekheo since that day, though I can't admit that even if I did. I wouldn't know what to say since he's the one who rejected me. I've been tempted to ask Solace, but he's been drowning himself in work.
What the? Okay, I can't see that clothing disappearing act now. This is very awkward. Hey guys, even though you don't see anything, you don't see anything at all because I edit things in, but Iluna's clothing did disappear. Yes, this is just a notice. Iluna's clothing disappeared, and as mentioned from the game page, there is the clothing disappearing act in here. So yeah, this is beautiful. Yeah, not sure which one you are saying beautiful as though. isn't it? I can't. Why the disappearing act appear this time? The clothing, isn't it?
I turn around, only to see Solus behind me. My face falls for a moment, but I brought myself back up quickly. Solus doesn't say anything for a moment, but he knows. He understands, because in a sense, he feels the same way. We both want Sekheo around, even if it's for different reasons. Thank you for doing this, Solus. I really do appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Besides, I know we all cope with loss in different ways. He's
not dead yet. Solus sighs and he runs a hand along his slick back hair. He must be doing that a lot lately. I shouldn't have been so blunt.
He's been acting like he is. So I suppose I've been distancing myself so it hurts less. He's alive, but it feels like he's already gone.
So you're working.
Having something to do suits me. I apologize if you're the same way and I took that away from you.
I shake my head. There's no need to apologize. I spent a lot of time doing nothing, to be honest.
If that works for you, I support you in that endeavor.
I'll hardly call it an endeavor when I was just being lazy. He put a reassuring hand on my shoulder. I relaxed it to the touch. This is something I've had to get used to as well.
You'll be alright.
I load the statement, but he knows it. It's a reassurance to the both of us. Sekheo is acting like a dead man walking, and there's nothing either of us can do about it. We'll just have to let him. You're right, and so are you. We're a team now, right?
Right.
And together, we'll have to move forward. From the past, from everything.
That's all you can do, right?
I look into Solo's eyes. This is someone I can truly grow to love in the future, even if it isn't in the same way I feel about Sekheo now. Yes, it is. My smile is genuine, and the world feels a little less factored. The ceremony is beautiful and suspected. I stand next to Solus, hand in hand. It's a little awkward, but I try my best to enjoy it. I am determined to learn to enjoy everything. This is more brain than I expected.
It is an important day, and I wanted to ensure that every detail was perfect out to the letter. I hope I've impressed you.
I am certainly impressed. You're an excellent planner, Don Solus. We walk together toward the ground, still holding hands. Everyone is celebrating us, and it's a strange sight to see. Solus clears his throat and begins to speak as we face the people.
Thank you for attending. Vtuber Luna is truly an exceptional individual, and it is my privilege and honor to be her partner for this ceremony.
Vtuber Luna, do you have anything to say?
I give the ground as opposed a smile as I can muster.
I am, beyond grateful for this opportunity. Solus was one of the first people to reach out to me when I first became a Celestial, and I remember the moment well. I also remember the argument between him and Val and... No, that's enough of that. I'm here to move forward, not look behind. This is the time for all of us to move forward into something new, and I am excited and honored to be doing this with Los Solus. Thank you for your time. We will now... There is a swell of noise as the crowd barks. We will, now... I draw off as footsteps, familiar and impactful, approach us. Sekheo faces the both of us, uncharacteristic disheveled, his expression desperate.
And he is kind of covering Los Solus too. Okay. I guess this is a coding problem.
He walks up with confidence, truly fitting up a prince until he's right in front of me. What are you doing here? Despite his confident steps, he stares down at me with uncertainty in his swirling eyes.
I've come to stop you.
Why? You make it clear that you don't want me.
I have, haven't I? And yet,
here I am, trying to stop you. I don't understand it myself, but I think that He trails off, staring at me. Yes, why? Why what, Giannis? What are you trying to say? Why must you so insistently impress upon me the desire to love you? Oh, he looks worn down, and he runs a hand through his hair, frowning. I give in. I concede. I have lost. Ring Sekheo, what are you? I love you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. I don't have the right to, but I do. My heart is beating out of my chest. Can't be saying this right now. Not now. Not in the middle of the ceremony. And who am I to waver at this time? Who am I to want him to hold me in his arms? I look at him, leaden and lost, and he does just that, his arms sliding around me. I don't even hear the collective gasps of shock as I do. No! I mean, yes, but also no, guys! Oh, I feel really bad for Los Solas right now. I feel really bad for Los Solas right now. No! I mean, guys, why? I wish we could have more time together, but the time we have now, we have to suffice. I hate the idea of filling your world with darkness, but I cannot help but desire to see you again. This feeling is too powerful, Your Grace. I love you, Elena. I want to be with you, even if it means we both leave the path of safety. He whispered it in my ear, and I can see a bit of blush on the side of his face. Oh, this is public! Oh no! This is public! Even though you don't see it, I am face bombing very hard right now. Is this real? Yes, it's really real, very real. I look over at Solus. To my surprise, when our eyes meet, Solus gives me a small nod of approval. Well, at least Solus is fine with this, so I guess it's fine, but it's still kind of really embarrassing. You know, doing this publicly, you know. It's just... it's fine if it's like privately or something like that, but publicly, it's both embarrassing and romantic at the same time. So my feelings are really mixed in this. I want to ask Sekheo how we will work things out, how there is that resolution to his death, but the words point out to a simple phrase, murmured as I stare into his eyes. Till death do us part? Instead of replying, Sekheo pulls away. His eyes wash across my face like a refreshing breeze, settling on my lips. He kisses me as though we will never kiss again, as though there is nothing in the universe beside the two of us, anchored together by love. I kiss him back, smiling against the touch of his mouth against mine. Ooh, wow, nice. That's a lovely kiss. This is considered public PDA, public display of its affection. Jeez, guys. I think it's great, but it's also kind of embarrassing. But both of you are really into it, so it's all fine. It's not the first time our lips have touched, and yet it feels as though he is kissing me with all of his heart. And before every previous kiss has been meaningless in comparison. Maybe it is because his lips taste of honesty and truth, knowing that how we feel about each other is mutually felt. All I can hope for is as much time as the universe will allow. When our lips part, the prince looks at me with those dark and transcendent eyes. His voice is hoarse, brought from the passion of our embrace. Yes, until death do us part. Then we run. We run like children do, with pure abandon and love in our hearts. We'll have to explain everything later because right now, we have the word in our palms. Fresh together and beautiful. There's nothing we can do except be together. Sekheo and I talk until I find myself drifting off to sleep. When I finally awaken, Sekheo sits in the bed beside me, holding the pages of a book in his hands. I yawn, looking at him tiredly. What are you reading? The book you checked out about two timekeepers during the same moon. Ah, I thought I returned all my books. I must have forgotten that one. The story was beautiful, if only it could. I drove off. There's no point in wishing it could be true and hurting myself with the idea. What? If only it could. I freeze. The strangest thought comes into my head, and I can't get it out now that it's there. I sit up and look at Sekheo wildly, my heart pounding in my chest. What if we try to rule together? Rule what together? You can't possibly be picking up your moon. Doing so would cut your lifespan in half. Sekheo's face turns grim. I cannot let you do that. It's not about your permission. It's about your life. Do you want to live? Because the answer is in this town. I just know it. Does. He tries to articulate his thoughts but fails. I watch as he tries again, this time sounding tired. Is it not selfish for me to want more time with you? Not if I want the same thing as you. Come, let's go to the library. The mythology has to be rooted in some reality. Perhaps Solus or Val could know something to help us. Leave Solus to me. Valenester is your friend, so I'll much rather have you ask him. Alright, sounds good. I'll meet you at the library then. Yes. He nods, and for the first time, I see a sparkle of hope in his beautiful eyes. So you're committed, huh? I'm committed to trying, yes. Does that answer your question? Val sounds and he continues to anxiously pace the forest floor. It does. I can't say I understand, but I'll respect your decision. I'm just glad I'm hearing it from you and not just catching rumors from the winds. Of course, you're my dearest friend here, and I wanted you to know the truth from me. Because of that, I'll help you out. I've been doing some behind-the-scenes searching. Just keeping an ear out for something that'll get you your happy ending when I heard something about a special gem of sorts. Supposedly, it's a treasure that allows two souls to be linked. I'm not sure why the humans would have much made such a treasure, but I hunted it down and Bear digs through his things and hands me a small glowing bear. Bear, are you a fairy godmother? Because you feel like a fairy godmother right now. What a great best friend. I don't know how legit this is, but I want you to have the Dove, I want you to happy. I want you to be happy. And if you're happy with him, I'll do everything in my power to make sure the two of you work out. Well, I don't know what to say. He was looking out this time for a solution just as I was. Thank me when it's all over, alright, Dove? I cupped the treasure in my hands, my eyes practically sparkling with joy. I will. I definitely will. On my way to the library, I see the glow of Solus before I see the man himself. He looks at me with an unexpected skip to his step and wrestling me by the shoulders, grins. Congratulations! You're happy? It's not all approval at the ceremony, it's something I'm still not sure if I imagined or not. Slightly disappointed but happy. I consider both you and Sekheo my friends, and while I believe you're about to take a huge risk, I want to support you. Thank you, Solus. Solus' face goes serious in an instant. I flinch, knowing that what comes next will not be gentle. I spoke to His Highness and it made me think. The life of a Celestia is a long and lonely one, so I understand why you'll be willing to cut it short for someone you love. Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I want you to promise me one thing. What is it? Make the best of it. Celestials ought to have to make the best of things regardless of their lifespan, so live your best life with Sekheo.
He smiles again before taking a step back and his hands on my shoulders.
Make sure to visit the world under my domain where you're in your human form again, won't you?
That's a given. We'll both stop by.
Thank you, Luna. Now I'll let you go on your way. I wish you great happiness.
Thank you, Lord Solus. I wish the same for you. Solus laughs loudly.
As you ought to.
That's just like him. I'm sure I would have been content with him as my partner, but I'm happy with Sekheo. I wouldn't have things any other way. With a quick goodbye wave, I head off toward the library. I hurry through the library doors. We don't have much time, and I want to get this done as quickly as I can. If it's possible, if there's some truth to the legends about this treasure, we need to find out as soon as possible. Sekheo is so immersed in his book that he doesn't notice me coming in until I tap his shoulder. He draws up in surprise, and his surprise quickly turns to joy.
We can do it, if only we have tenor.
Something like this? I pull out the bear and he looks at it, then me.
Exactly like that.
I bounce excitedly on my heels. Yes! Yes! So what are the details according to the books? How do we do this?
It's similar to our bonding ceremony. It's that we hold the bear as we vow to live for each other.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's return to the casa and do it.
You don't need more time?
I shake my head. I don't. I want to do this now, so we can spend the rest of our days together. What about you?
I would like to be with you more than anything.
I offer my hand, and he takes it as I lead him back to the celestial hall. This garden is quiet for once, empty of the other celestials that often rest and recreate here. I look at him, trying to remember what the timekeepers did in the myth. Sekheo is already a step ahead of me though.
Place your hand in mine, if you would.
I open up my hands, still holding the bear. What's next?
Beer.
Sekheo stares at me wordlessly, his cheeks slightly flushed. Sekheo, what's next? He thinks rapidly for a moment before looking away.
We both have to close our eyes.
I smile teasingly. So you getting one last glance at me before everything changes?
Is that so wrong?
Oh, I didn't expect him to be so serious. His direct response flusters me. No, not at all. I'm doing the same thing. I close my eyes as soon after though, and wait for a moment for him to close his. I feel a too warm heat in my palms, a dizziness in my mind, but I ignore them both. I refuse to let go, not when we're so close.
You can start with your vows.
I nod. Part of me wishes I could look into Sekheo's eyes while I say these things, every subtle change in his expressions. Sekheo, you've managed to draw me beyond words. I love your toughness, your love of poetry, and the way you're so sensitive to others' needs to the point of being stubborn. I can't wait to rule the spoon with you, because I know that together we'll make the world right. I love you.
Ilona.
There's a long silence, but I resist the urge to open my eyes.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to let me love you. I thought of a poem for you, if I may.
Of course.
A dying black star, a revival splashed by true love. 2 white moons are born.
I stroke his cheek gently. Beautiful. Then, as the beer burns, glowing so brightly it hurts my eyes through shut lids, I hold on tighter. There's a flash of light and color, and suddenly, I lurch forward, my body suddenly weak. Sekheo is there to catch me. He says nothing as he holds me close. Then, he holds me up, cupping his arm beneath my legs. Sekheo, what are you doing?
I am taking care of you.
He stares at me warmly.
walking through the garden with my physical form in his arms. I will always take care of you. I smiled sheepishly. To death do us part? His eyes are an answer that I can read as easily as poetry. To death do us part. Perfect cycle ending. Perfect cycle ending. Romancing the jerk. Okay. Nice. And that should be the end of our playthrough for Sekheo Route for Celestia. So overall, we have finished all of the 3 main routes of the game. So it was an interesting experience. I would love to have a short little comments after finishing this series. It was an interesting series. Interesting Otome visual novel dating sim that you can finish in about 3 hours if you read it like me, or if you're a faster reader, maybe about 2 hours top notch, with 3 main love interests and our lovely protagonist with their default name called Iluna Lunafil, in which you can also change first name and last name as I remember. So each love interests each routes and each love interests are different type of routes. So we have a more traditional route for Los Solis, a more tragic route for Prince Sekheo, which we have just finished, and a fun, gentle kind of childhood, kind of romance with Val. So the experience for each route is interesting depending on reference. For me, my favorite route would be Val, because I am a sucker for friend next door or best friend to lovers kind of romance, and it's very gentle. The kind of route is very gentle, very natural. Maybe Val has the advantage is that he know our protagonist first, but I kind of really like those kind of routes. It's very cute. Not that other routes not cute, but I just love Val's routes very much. But if I were to consider love interest, then my favorite would be Prince Sekheo. No surprise, I just love how he looks, his looks, and his personality characteristics. Very mature. Kind of serious but very sweet too. It's just he kind of a tragic character. Kind of is like Romeo and Juliet in a sense. So I personally don't like his route very much because it's a lot of cannot between of angst. So it's up and down, up and down, up and down. There's sweet moments, but then we have the angst moment. Anyway, in the end, we actually, as we thought we will be with Los Solis in the end, this time we have finally managed to find our true love and find our solution for in a way to be with Sekheo's a longer time. Maybe it's not as long as other routes, but still long enough. It's like a human life, but longer. You know, till death do us part. So, at the very least, even when their time ends, they will be and will go together. So that's still a sweet ending. A really sweet ending. In general, the game is great. I love the writing. The writing is very flowery at times, as I feel. Very kind of
formal in a sense. And the story is great. It's not is the time playing not too slow, not too fast, just enough. Though I do, and I highly enjoy the warning first from the game page is that wardrobe malfunction, which we did see in this playthrough. But you won't see at all because I'm going to edit the image along with a little bit problem with the coding. And I didn't mention in Vtuber Route is the music. So Los Solos and Sekheo Route has good music, but for Vtuber Route, I'm not sure if it's the coding or something else. There's some part that there's no music at all, and you can hear it very clearly because my voice is very clear in that part without any sound. So this should be what I think about this playthrough of Celestia. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next gameplay. Bye bye.